Hi, welcome to Alaskan in the Philippines, currently in Thailand. Today I want to tell you all about an amazing discovery I made. This blew my mind. It probably ain't gonna you guys ain't gonna care much about it, but this is really big for me. When I was in Alaska, I was a beekeeper for about 10 years. I really loved it. It was one of my passions. It was a hobby. Real expensive to get them where I was. I had to buy the boxes. Everything had to be shipped in. Luckily, I caught some deals on Amazon, but one bee box was $100, and I have about 30 of them. So yeah, and then you had to buy the packages of bees at a certain time of year. You had to order them, and then you'd get them flown in, and I'd have to find somebody to fly them out to me from Anchorage. They fly them up to Anchorage, and then I was out 450 miles. I had to pay to get them shipped out to me yet too. And those packages of bees are $230 each the last time I bought some. And that was to get them to Anchorage. And then I had to get them shipped out from Anchorage. The guy would ship them out, but I had to pay a shipping charge on that, probably another $60. I'd get a couple packages every spring, it comes with a queen, and you can set up a beehive. And I had a beautiful spot up above my house in Alaska. It's just a wild, beautiful mountain up overlooking the Yukon River. And I put up a pallet and a couple of pallets and leveled them up and made them sturdy and put my beehives up there. And every day I brought a stump up, and every day I would sit up there and just watch my bees coming and going, follow them around, see what they were eating, what they were bringing in for pollen and nectar, and doing, I open them up and look at them and see what's going on, and hopefully by the end of the fall I get a little honey out of the deal. And I did try to overwinter them. I did overwinter bees in Alaska. It's quite a feat, amazing feat to be able to do it. Very hard to do, but I have accomplished at it pretty much. But I had to leave them die off because I was coming here to Asia, and I didn't want to leave my daughter with bees. I'd already leaving her with dogs, chickens, and cats, and quail, or I think the quail were all gone. But yeah, I didn't want to leave her with bees and kids and stuff. They could be dangerous if a bear gets in and kicks them over, which has happened to me before. So I didn't want that added worry. So I got rid of my bees, but boy, that became one of my favorite hobby and pastimes. I love that more than about anything else. Was just to sit on that hill, and I don't know why I was transfixed on watching these bees coming and going and expecting them and working. There's a lot of work to be done. You feed them in the spring. You're basically caring for this nest of bugs, You got to keep it warm enough, or they make their own heat, but you got to, they cloudy, rainy days, they're out of work, they get hungry, you got to feed them. So it's a whole deal, and you gotta learn it. It takes years and years to learn beekeeping. It is not easy. It's one of the hardest things I've ever tried to accomplish for where I was living anyway. But yeah, so I got here, and I've been I don't have a Facebook account, but my business used to have one, so I can log in and look around on some of the things. And I don't even know how to get on. I don't know how to do much on there. But I was just reading on some of the forums that were in Hue Hin here, and people asking about bees, and I've asked around a couple people if they've ever heard any beekeepers here. I tried to Google something. I haven't seen any beekeepers. I'd love to go see some bees at some other beekeeper down here that keeps bees, and that would just thrill me to get back in it. I'd love to get right back into it with a smoker and bee boxes. If I could have beehives here, I would safely, have them out away from people. I would jump at it. I would love to do it. It's a great hobby. I just really enjoyed it. And here it would be productive. You could pile on the honey. Right now we had a rain, and all the foliage in Asia, for you guys living in the West don't realize this, but everything is a flower bush. Everything. There's just flower bushes everywhere. The trees, they're all flower trees. Practically all of them are blooming flowers. And constantly blooming flowers. Year round, there's just flowers. There's the trees that just spit flowers every day. They got to go out and sweep up the damn flowers because instead of litter on the streets and sidewalks, they got flowers that fell every night, It's really pretty, I think, to walk through anywhere. Asia, Dumaguete, same way. The Philippines is just beautiful, naturally flower bushes everywhere. So these bees are just loading up. And then there's these acacia trees, and we had this rain, so everything's blooming right now, even the ones that weren't. and the acacia trees are all in bloom, and I see the bees out working. I got some footage of some bees working some flowers too. But anyway, I was down under the parking garage, and I was walking around near the area where I kind of reside, and not far away in some trees that I spied what I thought was an Asian bee nest, one of those big things you see. They hang under a branch down in Asia here, and they're just a big circular thing, and they can be 4 to 6 feet across and hang down 4 feet. They're just huge, monstrous. It's a big piece of comb is what it is. Big giant piece of comb hanging down under this branch with their brood will be in the middle, and in the outside it'll be all honey. Then they'll bring in honey and pollen. They make a bee bread out of it. They mix the honey with the pollen, and they feed that to the babies, the brood, the young brood, before they cap it. And they're feeding them and taking care of them, nursing them along. They have actual nurse bees that take care of the brood, the small little grubs. And then they cap them off, and then they hatch out as an adult. And then the adult is a female. They're all females, drones. Except, well, no, there's some drones too. The males are drones. They have a few to breed. And then the queen is female, but she lays all females. But anyway, there's this big old honeycomb thing hanging out under the tree, and I thought for sure, my gosh, that sure does look like one. And I really wanted to see one because I was in Dumaguete, and they sell a lot of the locals would sit at the Valencia market in the morning, on Sunday morning, and they have a bucket of honey there. And there's dead bees and stuff, and pieces of comb, chunks of comb. And they have them in whiskey bottles, like rum bottles, and they'll try to sell you a bottle of honey. Pretty cheap too. I bought some when I was there a couple of times for my tea. Good honey too, really good. Real thin though. It's pretty thin. A lot of it was probably nectar. But anyway, yeah, and I wanted to get one of these guys. I come up to him and I bought some honey, and I was thinking to ask him. He didn't speak good English, but I was going to ask him, would you bring me out? I'd love to see one of these big hives. It was kind of my bucket list things to do. See one of these big Asian hives hanging on a branch, because I knew that's what that was. He must have went out and got it. I said, did you go out and get them from like this? He said, yeah. I said, wow, and he ended up selling me something, but I didn't ask him that time. I was going to ask him when I had more time to see one someday. Just pay him to bring me out, let me watch, get a smoker and maybe a head net, and that's all you need. I don't know. I'm kind of curious as how bad they can be, or ferocious they could be, compared to all I know are European honeybees. So anyway, I'm looking, I see this big thing hanging off a tree. I run over and check it. When it's in a residential area, it's probably going to be a scary thing if anybody disturbs it. But I look up, and sure enough, there's one of these giant Asian honeybee hives hanging under this branch on this big acacia tree. And it's about 4 feet, and it looks to me like I could actually climb up to it if I wanted to. If I had my smoker and this was out in the middle of the jungle and nobody cared and it was perfectly legal, and they let me, I would just grab a smoker and a head net and maybe a pair of jeans and a coat, my thin jacket, and go right up there, and you can just cut the edge of a piece of that giant comb. It's probably got, I bet it grew in the past couple days. I bet it's got 60 pounds of honey in it right now. Probably going to be more. But anyway, yeah, it was cool. Of course, I ain't going to climb up. Nobody should disturb it, because it's kind of, people would get stung, I would think. If it's like European, they'll get pissed off and they'll sting if you don't do it right, But I never told anybody. It's really cool. I got a short of it. If you look through my shorts coming up, I'll upload just a short of it. Anything you upload under in a couple minutes, it turns into a short no matter what. So if you want to see it, I'll upload a short video on it on the short. I haven't told anybody about it, and I didn't want anybody to molest it or anything, but I did talk to this Malaysian guy over here, and I did show it to him. I was kind of excited. I just found it. He's a good guy. I've talked to him before. He speaks good English. He drives a Mercedes. He got it parked under here. Really good guy from Singapore. And I told him, we were talking like we usually do. I said, come on over here and look at this. And I brought him over to where it was, and I showed him, and he's like, wow. He goes, they drop, and they get heavy and drop. And I'm like, oh, really? He said, yeah, they drop. He's seen them before in Malaysia, I guess. And he goes, don't tell the Thais. They'll go get it. I said, really? Yeah, don't tell them. So, I don't know. I don't think they would. There's a bunch of crew of men working around it too, so I'm waiting for them. They should look up and see it. It's getting to be big. It's about 4 to 5 feet across now. It's bigger than when I videoed it. I videoed this a couple of days ago, and now after this rain and everything's bloomed, it grew fast. It's a big hive, and it'll grow even bigger. And if that, like that guy says, if it drops, it'll be a lot of honey. I'll go over with my bucket and pick a chunk of it up and come back. But I think they'll just reuse it. The bees would come down and they'd get all that honey back and they'd go rebuild it. That's exactly what they'd do. But yeah, get some. I don't know. They're these big ones. I've seen them before. In fact, they're dying. Or I've picked one up to. This is what a dead one looks like. I ain't gonna be able to see it much, but. This is one I've seen dead. They're big and long. I got a big long butt when they're full size. These got longer wings than our European bees too. They're bigger. Pretty amazing. But I was so surprised to find that, and it just totally made my day. Just like Christmas for me to find one. I'll try to get up and get some good footage. I got a better camera. I should get out there and I'll try to get some and upload that on my laptop. It's that cool. I better capture it. You don't see that every day. I got a sneaking suspicions. I did see a guy this morning. He takes a walking around the neighborhood in that area, and I did see him today, and he was looking up at the tree like he's seen it. And I thought maybe he did. He probably don't know what it was. I think he suspects it's something unnatural like bees or something, but he don't know quite for sure. I seen him. He was looking at it for a while, and he must have seen it. He walks around that area every day, so he's like me. I'm around that area every day. I notice things. And I'm always looking up into these trees. I'm seeing weird things. There's squirrels and all kinds of lizards and stuff. I'm always watching these trees. What kind of weird birds. You might see monkeys or something running around. So I'm always watching it. It's the only nature around, so I hang out there, and it's kind of neat. So now I got my own beehive, man. And I'm just watching them. I'd love to have like I say, some real bee colonies. And I'm going to keep looking into that. I'm going to look into that if I can find some European honeybees or figure out if it's okay to keep these kind of bees and a place to do it that's safe. I would love to get back into beekeeping, make honey again. I used to make the best honey. Fireweed honey was really good. Very expensive now. It's probably one of the more expensive honeys in the world right now. And it's really good. But this would be really good too. I've had acacia honey, and it was in my opinion, it was second best to my honey, my fireweed honey, this acacia honey that I've ordered on Amazon before and had it shipped to me in Alaska. I really liked acacia. It was one of my favorites. Really good honey. So this is packed full. Maybe it'll probably get up to 200 pounds of honey in this thing as they keep adding to it. I think it'll get huge. And like that guy said, it might drop. Man, that'll be kind of a swarm of mad bees too if that happens. I don't know if that'll be a good thing. They might want to sting anybody that walks around. So yeah, it's kind of could be a hazardous situation. But anyway, I'm going to keep following, watching. I'll try to get some good video of it. Maybe some National Geographic stuff. So I'll get a good camera on it. Maybe get a shot of it before it falls or somebody goes up and one of the Thais decide to harvest it. Might be what they'll do if they see it. Well, okay, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll keep you updated. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.